Greetings and salutations, Internet. We're here. We're going to be celebrating. They're having a big barbecue out in Tehran right now. Um, Basically, they killed off the petrodollar. Um, so we're going to see our money become as worthless as the people who own most of it. Um, but yeah, the Iranians have a cute little nickname. You know how we call them the axis of evil. We got all these terms for them. They like to call them the Epstein class, which is more apt. It's just like it's a representation of who their enemy is. And surprise, surprise, it looks a lot like your enemy as well. You know, those criminal pedophiles who are running our government that we had some of the documents leaking, exposing a lot of their criminality, but no one's going to jail for it in America yet. That's their enemy too. And one of the things I found effective, and it made me want to join the military. You know, they're up in the age. I think it's 42, and they're going higher. It's supposed to be going up to like 80, 86. We're trying to get some of the Korean War vets in there. Show us some of the tactics they use, but a lot of them got gout and whatnot. So we're gonna figure it out. Uh, um, but yeah, I'll just join the military and just get a free flight out to Tehran, and I'll just go to the party because like they got Nipsey Hussle playing, and it's just like I just want to sign up just to go to their barbecues. Oh,
solidarity and the connection that the US imperialism made us to have through one God, one blood, and one common enemy. All these people, martyrs that you have faced and have experienced, have the same experience as us. They fought against the imperialism, try to build their own foundation, try to build their own society independently, and got killed. None of these guys are unfamiliar with all these titles like gangsters, radicals, just like we are facing right now in the history in the Middle East. They're calling us terrorists, extremists, radicals. From Martin Luther King, Malcolm X to Nipsey Hussle, we are all sharing the same goal, having an independent and free society. Assalamu alaikum, peace. Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm from Iraq.
that's like one of the benefits. I think Iran really learned a lot from Iraq. You gotta have someone who can convey the ideas across to an American audience in English. A lot of us don't know second languages. English was like my seventh, but on my resume. But yeah, like a lot of times people will be going to public forums and they'll be like screaming passionately in a language we don't understand. So it's just like it sounds like it's just like you see fists going and you're like, oh, they're scared. And the news always be like, oh, these people that hate America and they're screaming in the foreign language. And it's just like, well, you could just assume the worst because some languages are more poetic. A lot of ideas get across poetically through Arab and Farsi and all the Semitic languages. But yeah, to the American racist ear, it just they hear nothing but threats. But then the people who are screaming in pain, like they just lost their whole family. And they're like, why did you kill my kids? Why did you do this? Why are you blockading us? Why are you starving us? Because we get to see the tactics on full display, um, and it's shamelessly. These people like they just think they can get away with shit, I'm sick of the people, but I know they're growing lower in the numbers, but it's like some people they be voluntarily become the distraction. Like when you feed on to the little narratives that they provide for us, safe and effective. It's only 2 weeks. Um, like you got to put your foot down a lot sooner, and it's just like the disunity. Um, yeah, I've seen during the psyops, when people just go to the authority. They may, and a big part of it is they don't really understand the depth of the inhumanity of these organizations that they support. But yeah, no, but so it's just like it's a lot of people signing up. I've seen videos of soldiers who are just regretting doing it. Um, and it's just like kudos to you because they ended up capturing a lot of them, and it just reminded me I had a family member who was held captive a few years ago in Turkey back in 2016, and it was like my sister got us praying for her and just like why is she involved in this military? They poisoned both of my parents, um, but yeah, it was she was caught in the middle. It was like a coup that the CIA was trying to orchestrate. And it's just like a lot of my family's military. So if like some shit gets crazy, uh yeah, it's gonna be my family going to Iran, which is and I I have some family who, were stationed in different parts of the world. And yeah, they came back differently. Um like where they just were saying some just crazy comfortable saying some wild shit. Um, like it's just leave it at that for the time being. But a lot of I had other vets who were talking about some of the stuff they did when they were serving. Oh, it is not good to give guns to a bunch of racist people and tell them to go look over a bunch of brown people. That's a recipe for disaster. It was like a genuine psychopath. What was his name? Chris Kyle or something. He was the one. Like they made a movie, American Sniper. I never watched the movie, but it was like I came across a podcast where they were talking about like the history of like the stuff he was doing and taking credit for it. Like the dude was genuinely disturbed. Then they turned him into a hero for killing a bunch of people, and then he was talking about killing people in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, like people who were looting stores. Like, dude, this motherfucker. I think that's why he didn't commit suicide, probably, or maybe he did. And maybe that kind of hate. It usually feasts on itself. Um, but yeah, the dude was genuinely disturbed, and he was turned into an American hero. And I never, I always opposed the military. Well, serving for um, the government that does not have your best interests at heart. A lot of the rations they give you, it's like it's got no, they're experimenting on you. That's what look at the cancer rate in veterans. Some people catch Agent Orange while in the field. Some people just, they got toxic water at their military base, and they're poisoning the water of the people who stay there, like what they're doing in Hawaii. Um, yeah, but they got a lot of ways of introducing you to a carcinogen, but they do a lot of experimenting. A lot of it was a doctor who um, who got arrested because she kept uh, uh, faking up medical reports to get people into these chemotherapy sessions, which were killing them. chemo, that radiation they use. It was a sick dude, Cornell Rhodes. I don't know if he's connected to Cecil Rhodes, probably, but he was like doing experimenting with radiation on uh, the Puerto Rico's liberation organizations. So like the people who wanted sovereignty for Puerto Rico, he was experimenting on them. You know, like they were collaborating with Black Panthers, other groups of the time, and yeah, you know, but yeah, what they learned with the experiments on these Puerto Ricans, they just started just lightly poisoning everyone. You know, when we started talking about cancer, a lot of the people, they don't necessarily die from the cancer, but they die from the treatment, and it's super expensive treatment uh, that will kill you. But then it'll make sure you die broke because it's like never covered. Where you get the gold version of the Fresh Prince jacket. uh, I thought the jacket, their jacket was the inside out was the part that looked like this when they flipped it inside out. But yeah, this is uh, not a replica. But yeah, now the people who were profiting off of your suffering, whether it be you joining the military, you staying here and just dealing with the healthcare they got you, being poisoned routinely. Um, they just one of the benefits of RFK being having a position of power was he wrote books about how our food system is poisoned, all this stuff. Everyone who was like, oh, he badmouthed Tylenol, and they were eating extra Tylenol when they didn't need it. I thought that was ridiculous, right? You know, and I realized he's a part of the system. You know, his dad was killed by the CIA Mossad connection, just like his uncle. Um, Sirhan, the one who's accused of killing his dad, he was a Palestinian, and he was a product of MK Ultra, and you know, it was like a big psyop. The people who were doing MK Ultra kill his dad, and then he doesn't, and then you know, Israel, they probably take him on a trip out, see the country, what they're trying to do, like get him blackmailed nice and young. he was he was in the Epstein files and all that. But I assumed he could hold tight when it comes to poisoning the country, because he was like very understanding of uh, um, Monsanto being an issue, and then them being bought up by Bayer, which was a Nazi organization. Um, but yeah. So um, he was expressing some of the concerns I had. I thought he would address it by, you know, just getting rid of all the toxins we add to our food. But instead, this motherfucker said we had to, you know, instead of letting other countries poison us, we're going to start making the poisons domestically. Knuckin' futs. Like, it was just, so we're not going to get rid of the poison. He was like, no, it's a big industry. And it's just like, yeah, the industries, there's a lot of industries of death we have to put out. Like, they just got to go out of business. Like brains and guts cleaning services that, you know, go in and clean up wars and, you know, make skin suits and build, add to Israel's skin bank. Um, yeah, it's probably really profitable, and they built up a tolerance maybe, but yeah, the industry doesn't need to exist. We got become a doctor, like learn how to grow food without lead in it or other toxins. Make the local farm a thing again. Instead of like having our food run by psychopaths like Bill Gates. He's in charge of 51% of America's arable farmland. This motherfucker's on the Epstein list. Like, we've been bamboozled. We've been had. That's why I'm down with Iran. This is like, this was rewarding.
The marathon continues. This slogan was created by the honorable martyr late Nipsey Hussle. And you already know that it's representing the culture of resistance and martyrdom. We, the Iranian people, are in the middle of war with the United States and Israel. And we gather here tonight to show you that we have way more in common than you think. One God, one blood, and one enemy. Marathon continues. Peace.
That's it. That's what I want. I want the Iranians to know I ain't got no smoke with you. You gave Malcolm X his own stamp when the year I was born. Nah, but it's it's solidarity. You know, my government's enemies are not mine. Man, I'm like free Maduro. We can like work something out. I join the military. I get like the intel where how I can get into Maduro. Plus, I want to shake his hand, dude. He's a real one. Any enemy of my enemy can be an ally. But yeah, you know, Iran. Yeah, I love seeing the people out understanding our plight. We are more so held victim and robbed systematically by the system. You know, like they get them taxes. The pedophiles, they don't want to pay their share, but you know they'll get our share, and then some. And print some extra money. They just want you to suffer because it's like they can print themselves. Like they got more money than they will ever be able to spend. They can literally print their own money, but they need you to be broke. They need you to be struggling because we're struggling with like trying to make ends meet. We're not going at the system that's fucking us over, and that's why Iran giving the empire a bloody nose, bloody good show, mate. But now we got to get the Epstein list out of our government. Build a parallel government. This whole shit is rotted from the rooter to the tutor. A lot of shit we've normalized should have always been illegal. Should have always been just a crime. Lobbying. That is just crazy. That people make money corrupting. That's lobbying is corrupting. Broke people don't have lobbyists. You know, homeless people, like we spend hundreds of billions of dollars on the homelessness issue, which is enough to get rid of homelessness, but we put it in the pockets of these for-profit nonprofits. Oh, this one was just like I don't know if you're familiar with Nina Simone. I watched a documentary on her a while back. It was powerful. She she lived next to Malcolm X, and she was like talking about how she had nothing but good stuff to say. But I don't know if this is that one or this is the one where she talking about she had a gun. I think.
I was a record company that stole my albums and didn't pay me, and they came to Switzerland, and I said, "Where's my money?" They said, "We're not going to give you any money." I said, "Oh, yes, you are." And I got a gun. It was a gun. It wasn't a knife. And I followed him to a restaurant, and I tried to kill him. I missed him, and I went back to America.
I'm not saying that everyone's role is to be that person, but you know, like some people, like you know, when you own the judicial system, like you can just like you have enough money to buy your way to freedom, like the Walton heiress who ended up killing someone while driving drunk, and the only person to get in trouble from that was the cop who arrested her. He was rude to her. Unless you want like some cockamamie, the new royalty is just like the people who own the corporations, and it's a big club. You ain't in it. Like you may see people who like they get some of the perks, some of the creature comforts of the corporation. Different areas may have like a closer connection. Some people never see those kinds of people in their life, and you consider yourself lucky. They're horrible, but I mean, just it's soul sucking. I don't know if some people they start off with the best of intention, but man, they get that's like the cold blooded shit. I associate a lot of that shit with LA motherfuckers. You know, like motherfuckers you'd be cool with, and then like they play their hand, and you just realize, oh man, you just been ruthless this whole time. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's uh, the people who've been corporately captured. You know, some of them like I've dealt with like the owner's son, or you know, like the motherfucker who just inherited a bunch of shit and power and think he better, and like motherfucker, you don't contribute shit to this. Like you just tell us what we get to make and what gets greenlit. Um, but you know, like these people who've never been brought to judge, like this whole Epstein class. These are the motherfuckers who when they kill people, they get affluenzas. You know, like they're like, no, he can't be arrested. Affluenza. He's never faced consequences. He wouldn't know what it's like in jail. He's too well off. Like he can't go to jail. That's how people have gotten off. That's a precedent in courts. But yeah, you know, and it's just like when I was coming up, I got arrested for the dumbest shit, and I hadn't faced any kind of jail time, and you know, there's no thought into it. It was an automatic go. Uh, you know, like directly from the event to the cell, and just um and it's just kind of oh, and then what was it, the dude, one of he was like an heiress to one of the companies. He was like molesting his own kids. I was and he got off. Like who gets custody? Like he's just like, I won't do it again. I don't know how that happens. I've been growing tomatoes to see if I can do it. Well, that's beautiful. Grow your own food. Yeah, no. I put some stuff in the community garden. I got like a one not too far by. Um, but yeah. Now it's like uh, springtime. Well, you know, hopefully you uh, sowed a good harvest. I'm digging the suit, looking fly. I do what I can with what I have. You know, this is more so laundry day fit. I'm like running out of other stuff. Ran out of my good stuff. Wait, speaking of, you know, the Island Boys are Epstein kids, right? Yeah, I didn't know who the Island Boys was until it was them talking about being his son. Like one of them, he's like particularly. I don't know how I've been getting his shit in my feed, but it looked like he's going through something, drug induced. Yeah, and that's another thing, you know. Uh, um, you start getting into certain communities, uh, LA, uh, parts of Florida, you know, shit like that. Like they want you to be inebriated all the time, and that's like the people who want that are not thinking of your best interest. But yeah, the the one of them, I don't know their names or anything, but like I don't know if you've seen the one who was doing the like he was on something at one of those dating shows where it's like uh 20 women, like they're having a conversation. One of them was just like, she was just like, oh yeah, weren't you the one kissing your brother? Aren't you Jeffrey Epstein's son? And she was like, because he was like, what kind of car you drive? It's like, I'm worth $1 million. She was like, you're same height as me. She was like, I'm not impressed. And yeah, and she just kept going back to him kissing his brother, which is something I didn't know about. Still don't want to know about it. Well, I mean, it affects all of us because this is like he's a product of the depravity that was going on that island. Crazy that would be his title name. That's like a trauma that you would think one would have to move past. But considering, you know, they probably got back together with good old Palm Beach Pete O'File. Um, yeah, you know, maybe that's why he's fucked up again. Jeff got back into the drug mix like it's like a one of those trail mixes with just like different kinds of drugs. You just pick in and see what you get. But it makes sense why they are into that word stuff. Plus, they are Epstein Island buys. Island buys. He bought them. But that word stuff. They didn't seem very wordly when when dude was on the show. I saw him on. Yeah, this is a sick look. I appreciate it. Well, you can see it in the Mace MA sent sign E looking at me video. Ireland boys, weird stuff. you're of the ire, the emerald people. Cheers. Oh, and I'm gonna have to get a new water right now. What the fuck? My autocorrect. Oh, I mean, I fuck with. I thought Ireland Boys was like an alternative, like a spinoff of Irish people pretending to be the Island Boys. They could be anything because I really don't know what the Island Boys are. Don't listen to any of that shit. Um, yeah, and it's just like, what could I learn? It's probably either them working through their abuse at the island or celebrating the abuse, perpetuating it, the pedagogy of the oppressed, as it were. And looking at the interview, I think they're more into perpetuating it because they got little creature comforts. They got a little taste of some paper, and it's more than a lot of poor people. And they probably just, you know, the show I was watching, the dude who just kept bringing up how he had $1 million car, and just like, yeah, I got millions. And yeah, he was. They do that around a bunch of poor people who want the status that they think comes with being next to him, and it's just like maybe that's where the drugs came from. Like after the chick, like kept calling out like everything that made you famous is not a flex. Um, Maybe that's when he started to over medicate. I don't know. Dope suit. Try tying a double Windsor. Fuck the Windsors. I don't do the Windsor house. None of that shit. Fuck all the royalty. Except hood royalty. I'm the king of the struggle. Next time you tie time. Bigger knot will look better in that collar. Well, I also have something I'll debut at a later date, but yeah, I don't do Windsor. That's like I was adamant. My dad, first time I tied my own tie was at my dad's funeral. I was every other time he did it, or I got one of his prepared ties or whatever. But yeah, he did he was about that Windsor life. Um, but yeah, yeah. Uh, I didn't know tie names, and then I was like, like looking up the tie, and I was like, that Windsor, it's a no go. Uh, uh, I just don't believe in the Royals. Maybe if they called it something else, but no. Island boys never get to manhood. Well, what about boys to men? Oh no, they're still 12. Um, no. What was the one who just did the 369, very, very fine. Yin Yang Twins. Oh no, they didn't have a young age, but the song they did was very jovial. I mean, I remember the Whisper song. They had a few more than that, but it was like a video I saw a while back where they were older doing the same songs, and they had clearly just like age. And it was just like yeah, you're talking about window to the walls and sweat dripping balls. It's interesting, you know. But do what you do. I think it's important to have the good messaging for rattling around in your noggin. By the way, YouTube didn't send me a notification that you were online. This happens. Um, yeah, no, YouTube has been against my work for a while. So even before my channel, for largest channel got taken down, um, the that was in 2014 when Nate's Vlogs got taken down. But I started like having people with that issue, people not getting notified when they were subscribed to me, only me. People being unsubscribed automatically by the system. I was like, yeah, YouTube, they do not like to promote me. Not surprised. That's why I don't uh, um, post anything there. Um, and I have the notifications on. Yeah. Well, best way, nateflix.net, rumble.com/nateflix. That's the mainstream. That's the one. Like this is the tech channel is a downstream of the Rumble. And Rumble is where I post edited stuff. So I'll do employee evaluations over there, new and old, rewinds, um, stuff like that. But Netflix.net, because Rumble, I mean, they haven't taken my stuff down yet, but YouTube didn't take my shit down for a while either. So we shall see. I think Peter Thiel, he's like one of the founders of Rumble, and that motherfucker, like, no, there's no trust. So yeah, Netflix.net is what I would just say though. And then I'm going to have it better organized with the rewinds and the employee evaluations, and then the live content and the other videos and so on and so forth. Happy Saturday. Did you know it was baby oil that Diddy House? It was GHB. You know what that is? Ghetto Homeboy. It's some kind of a drug. That's the one that they had in it was in growth hormones, or it was in the powders, like muscle powders back in the day, right? Then they outlawed it. But it was supposed to have like benefits though. But then some people say it knocks you out. But beyond the knocking out in different doses, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know I did meet P Diddy's son. That was an interest. It was very memorable. um, but yeah, I never got to a part. I don't want to. Because here's the thing, though. Diddy, I heard how much baby oil he had. That was like everything I kept hearing about him. Like is distraction, distraction. And plus, it was the baby oil, and then him taking custody of Usher when he was a kid, and yeah, that kind of shit. Like perpetuating the abuse to the next generation. So then you got a Usher, and then he gets his Bieber, and then Bieber gets Emmanuel Lewis, or I don't know who. I don't keep up with the little rugrats anymore. Still on the West Coast, as far as you know. If I told you my time, I would be like 7:52. It's 7 o'clock, almost 8. Um, I'm so mad you got your big channel taken down. I miss all your videos. My mother and I will watch them for hours. Well, a lot of the uploads, those are on odyssey.com/@Nateflix. Um, the uh, the stuff it basically backed up all the Netflix channels stuff, and I uploaded some new stuff, but you have to have so much traffic for you to get like these coins for me to be able to upload more stuff. So it's a lot of stuff I haven't uploaded, and maybe I should get more people on Odyssey because I don't know if Peter Thiel is invested in them, but um, I just knew it was the whole coins to upload thing that was kind of problematic because I was just trying to do like a mass upload of new stuff, and it was just like I need to get more coins. So if you want to see more uploads over there, just go watch more of the videos, and yeah, I'll bring my new stuff over there when I get it as well. Play evaluations was my favorite. What's your website again? I'm going to watch those right now. Nateflix.net. It'll take you to my Rumble. And that's the main one. I got a gimbal set up. I post the new employee evaluations over there, the new rewinds. Just that is the default. They have some payment method, ways to tip creators and stuff. And, like I said, they didn't take any of my shit down yet. So until that, and I posted the stuff that I knew YouTube was taking down, and they still kept it up. So I mean, take from that what you will. Still Netflix.net if they take me down at some point. No, GHB makes you more susceptible to saying yes to things. Oh, like if someone wanted to take advantage of you, like he did with Justin Bieber, they will say yes to doing almost anything without memory. Hmm. And you said you've used this GHB for these purposes, huh? Hmm? Trying to soften people up? You like a predator? Like you're like the sexual predator version of Dexter, where you only target other sexual predators to sexually assault them. And GHB is in your arsenal. Like you reach into your bat satchel and you pull out GHB and you start giving doses to was you said Justin Bieber? Is that your trick? I'm on to you. How did you know mostly for person use? Oh, so I got it right. You are a predator. Personal uses. So you're just admitting to being a sexual predator. All right. Well, I mean, I guess you're the one and only one speaking, so I'll allow it. And bat satchel, and man, I got so many toys. I do feel like, uh, see, if Batman was a hero, he would, by definition, he couldn't be a billionaire. Uh, that's why in Revolution the musical, the villain is the Bat character, the billionaire hero. But yeah, you can check out the music for it in Netflix. It's on my uh, SoundCloud, but I'm going to be bringing it to other platforms shortly. But I'm also adding more stuff to it, and yeah, we're going to have surprise guests coming along at some point. Wait, for real? That was a joke. You don't use anything anymore? I've been sober almost 2 years. Well, there you go. That's beautiful. It's uh, sober is the way to be. I was well, at least never enter in it whenever you're in an environment sober people. Um, it's always checking on whatever the fuck you're drinking. Encouragement to for you to like, come on, it's just one. You could be like sober for 12 years. Like, no, come on, it's just one drink. Like, no, I just drink and, I go crazy on one. Like, nah, it's just one. But anytime you're in an environment where people are watching your drinks, even if you drink and you think it's just casual, if someone's just like, come on, I'm trying to fill you up, or calling you a bitch if you don't take a shot or some shit, leave. Just that person is a predator. That is a predatory person. Um, and I've encountered, that was like a LA thing, and then like other areas that remind me of LA, like the controlling aspect. Like, if you got industries of control. So Vegas, I saw some of that kind of shit. Uh, you know, try to stay away from certain circles where people are making just uh, uh, voracious alcoholism a sport. Like, I go to a bar, but it's like people who are pacing themselves, drinking, drink a cider all night long or some shit like that. I was out at a karaoke one time. Only really buy anything from the bar just to support the business, so they keep doing it, right? But uh, this couple, they wanted to sit by me, and it was just like, it's a big table. It's like, sure, have at it. All right, and the chick was she's putting out some weird vibes. Um, and her dude ended up bringing drinks for everybody. I was like, I already got mine. He's like, come on. And then he was just like, I was just sitting there, I took my time to just finish my one cider, right? And he was like, come on, we're gonna have to do a cheers. He got them, both of them, a shot and a beer, and then we do the cheers. And this motherfucker just chugs his entire beer in a shot. I think he was just trying to make up his girls, putting out some feelers. I was like, not at all interested. But motherfucker tried to make me look like an idiot by not being able to just, like, he could just like he chugged the fuck out of this cider, like it was a sport. Like, he just and just did the shot, and he's just like, done. And I was just like, whoa, what is happening? They ended up leaving, or what I thought was leaving. Um, And then, the night concluded, it was better. It was just like less tension. I was like, yeah, cool. And then when I'm walking out, getting ready to go home, um, like they're outside yelling. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm leaving. And then like he walks across the street. She follows him. She's like wearing like just pajamas. And I realized at that point, nothing under him because she fell and just like her whole shit was just open. Like she had like a tube top thing. It was just titties out. It was just ass out. And I was just like, yeah, you need some help. And could you get your shit together? And the bar staff ended up coming out. But yeah, they got like just wasted, like from a night of competitively drinking, having competitions with um people who just aren't even in that mindset. Um, and the fact that he was just trying to encourage me to have like that kind of thing. I mean, that's like some predatory shit. Like, come on, keep having shot, and like have his girl infect me with something so they could rob me. I don't know, but just stay away from the booze. And a lot of that, a mentor position, and we go on trips outside of the state and whatnot. Like get to see different parts of the country. Sometimes we have younglings with us, and yeah, it's just like I try not to bring any of that shit around because they think this shit is cool. But yeah, best to just stay away from it. Uh, yeah. Any particular reason you went on? You got away from alcohol? Just dropping by to say, hope you're doing well. Love the outfit tonight. Well, the outfit loves you back because it's nothing but love coming from this general vicinity. She had an ass that won't quit. Why are you plagiarizing my work? Or paraphrasing. I said she had an ass that would not quit. And it's said on repeat. It's like one of the interesting things. The ass that would not quit song is still up, even though the channel that they took the sample from, that's down. But I can go and see the comments of people who didn't know that was a song that I took from someone else that they made for me just speaking. Yeah, so people would go over there and they had all these comments, and I was like, last time I went through it, it was a lot of lovely stuff. And that's like one of the things I was like most sorely miss. A lot of the memories, the videos, because I had like videos of my little nephew, and he was dressed up like me, and um, but yeah, it's just like the comments because sometimes I make a point, and it is one of the points you can't make when shit is when the psyop is in full effect. Like when you just cannot question anything, motherfucker, you better stay away from this point. But yeah, when I was saying a lot of stuff that became common sense in the past couple of years, right? And it would be nice to go back to the comments of people who were just like they were just like, man, you're crazy. Why do you keep saying that these shows are being made by pedophiles? Why do you keep saying that there's some weird messaging in here to make us normalize war? You know, um, it would be nice to just go back to those old comments and be like, do you get what I was saying now? But, YouTube, they took that right away from me. That's why we got to sue them. I'm telling you, $12 billion for every year I was taking off. I won't even spend 1 cent of that. I can live off the interest. And I give the money to um, the people who are working with Elaine Brown's Black Panther housing. Where she got $80 million from a lawsuit against the government. And she just invested in housing communities. So it's like I get $12 billion. That's like 12 billion going directly into she got the all that with 80 billion or 80 million. 12 billion, that's like enough to house America. Or we pass legislation to make it illegal for corporations to own property. So you just kind of systematically fix it. A person, a household can't spend more than 25-30% of their income on mortgage. Yeah, it's just like the prices will fix themselves. Make it so that if you were living at a place for over, let's say 5-ish years, like you have the option to buy it, and the government will take care of it. You just, your rent goes down, but you get to own it. Anything to disempower the Epstein class. I was referring to your story about a female and male, no problems. Oh. Aren't all stories about females and males? Like even stories about animals? I mean, you could make it about like a asexual paperclip and Clippy. What is he? What is they? What are they? All right, but yeah, I just want to kind of show oh man, this is always. Oh, rap is sold out. Right. All right. I talk about the greatest rappers of all time. One of the people, I'm not even just talking about the music, I mean, I don't know if you heard KRS-One's latest albums, but he's still putting out shit. Knock him out the box, Chris. Out the box, Chris. I'm the opposite of these hoes dancing in panties, a truth seeker. I write for people, not a Grammy. But anyways, I always find it valuable when I come across rappers who I really respect, or just people who I respect who reached the elevated position in the game. Now, KRS-One nowhere near where he should be, as opposed to just you listen to his albums, right? I don't know anything about who he fucking. I don't know anything about his spending habits or. I mean, he reads books. Maybe he buys a lot of books, or he says gets them from the library. But this motherfucker talks about revolution. And when one of my biggest issues with a lot of the hip hop culture that was forced on us is they dumbed down the culture that it was actually based on. And it's just the studio gangsters and all that shit. This is pushed on the community. and then the young kids, they see it and they emulate it because it's so cool, and it's just like the girl at your school, like the thug on the screen. So yeah, that is, you do see some life imitating art, but uh, um, the culture it was based on. KRS One, like, Nas, he goes into a lot of it. He's got songs discussing the Hip Hop is Dead album. This is, they kind of talking about really mainstream shit that anybody who I can mention that's like a household name. If you know who they are and everybody else knows who they are, they're probably garbage. That's why a lot of you guys don't know KRS-One's latest albums or a lot of the philosophy that he still puts out there. He's a teacher, um, but this is something I came across.
All house slaves look better than the field slave. Colonialism has a tactic of taking the criminal element of a society and exalting it as the leader stage. And this is how all cultures, how they did us as they came in. They don't take the king or the queen of the culture and exalt them because you colonize their land, take what they got. They'll take the one who's the lowest level of your culture, disgruntled, can't follow principles, don't care about history, and bless them. And bring them up before the people. Now, because you went with the lie, and the lie looks good, the lie is paying. The lie is giving you prestige, you're getting popularity on the lie. Yeah. There's only one place that lie can take you. One place. And that's your self-destruction. To my own detriment as well, I don't play the game. So if I led myself to the game, I might be able to be heard a little more. Yes, I will say that. But to lend yourself to a corrupt game only corrupts you. So I don't lend myself to the corruption because I can see it. But what's the result? Hip hop looks like it's titled. Oh, rap is sold out. All house slaves.
Yeah, no, that's kind of getting to the point. It was a D1 verse where he was saying, the devil elevated you. That's not real success. Because, it's a lot of people out there. They got name. They got all kinds of money. It's, I worked on shows, artists I never heard of before. And they were selling out arenas, but they were bringing in trifling ass. You could tell a lot about an artist by the audience they bring. So if it's like violent music, it's gonna be fights, just breaking out. But then sometimes I feel like damn the music. It was a it was a rap artist. His shit, the stuff I've heard is pretty violent. And he had like I was hearing about his baby mamas and all this shit. He was having like the people picking out the girls in the show. They doing all this extra shit to get attention, whatever. But yeah, he had like the this cultivated audience where it was like multiple fights. It was like people being pepper sprayed. It was like vomit. First time I seen it was the whole stage was just vomit. People out getting just fucked up, drunk, and fighting. But the funny thing is, like you hear there was a fight at this rap artist event. A lot of people just think black people, but it was like two different fights with white people at the show I went to. And I was just like, what is even happening? But yeah, it was Yeah, to beware of the content you put yourself put out there. That's why, like, when I met D1, he was on tour with Brother Ali. Brother Ali was the first rap artist to be aired on public television in Iran. Um, he with Uncle Sam, Goddamn, like that was the first rap song that they introduced. But now that maybe that was their foyer into hip hop. But like you listen to the event. Oh, and they got a Tupac. They got a bomb representing Tupac. If you can't read that, it says "Happy 50th birthday to Tupac Shakur." This is from the former president, and the message itself was sent a few years ago. But it was Iran dedicated a missile meant for Israel, U.S. to Tupac, and it's currently going viral. And the photo is not AI, but it says in memory of Tupac, and it says "Kill Illuminati, kill Illuminati." Like that's just like you just salute. That's why I'm gonna join the army, and then when I get to Iran, I'll give them other rappers that we could like uh, bring into the fold. I mean, we got some living legends right now. You can get KRS-One. He could do like a morale, like spit a rap. Maybe I could do a Revolution the musical. Boost Riley. We could bring in the coup, not to coup your government, the coup with Boost Riley and R.I.P. the singer of the group. Sorry.
I'm in Tehran, in the Islamic Republic of Iran, at a cultural booth that is honoring those Americans who were killed by their own government and the Zionist lobby, especially African American political leaders. The slogan is very powerful: one God, one blood, and one enemy. That means there's more in common between those of us who are being bombed here in Iran and the American people themselves than there is between the American people and that same Epstein class who is bombing us and killing our children and blowing up universities and scientific research centers. So it just goes to show that we have the same enemy. We need to be resisting against this enemy, and together we can overcome and get rid of this evil tyranny that controls the world. Peace.
And if that ain't the truth, that's why I don't want to see nobody talking about, oh, but Iran, what they did to their own people. And this happened, or at a protest. It's like, yeah, but Iran did kill their own people. And it's just like, because I'm like, because we were discussing the U.S. shouldn't get involved with any of this shit. It's not our business. They got an ancient civilization that's been brewing many millennia longer than anything in Europe. But yeah, like some people they have this knee-jerk reaction to say, oh, but their government bad. I'm like, all governments are bad. My government is the worst. So your government can be horrible, but Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, they're not going to help your situation. These are the files will tell you who they are. Don't listen to their intentions that they talk about on the TV when they lying to you. That is not their intention. They veil that in language that speaks to you, and they use a lot of your own caring and wanting to actually help someone. Use that against you. Got scare tactics. They got false flags. I mean, I think they already executed a few, but they got more on the way, I'm sure. That's why it's important for us to be strong in resolve. Like the Iranians making videos, letting everyone know that they don't hate the American people. They hate our government. Don't listen to the government when they say hate the people. You hated your government before they said they hated your government, right? What if we all come together with the people who hate our government and we overthrow it? We give the Epstein class to Iran, like, here, have Donald Trump. You can have Marco Rubio, or he can go to Cuba, or you guys can divide them up, figuratively, literally. You be the choice. You be the judge. Like these people have caused all this suffering, right? I got no smoke with Iran, with China, with Cuba, uh, Venezuela. I mean, the list gets long, but I love them all. Point to how foul their government is. I'm like, I hate my government more. That's why I'm just gonna sign up for the military real quick and just go to the Iranian barbecue. Um, I can get whatever intel I could find. Um, we could bring some Brother Ali, some KRS-One, get Rakim out there. I don't know. Have Rakim run for president. It wasn't really alcohol. It was everything else. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. Whew. Good Gorgonzola. And yeah, there's also good tidings from the Shamasawant town hall. It is, one of the more rewarding organizations I get to work with. The Worker Strike Back movement, because a lot of the organizations I always question, like the what's going to happen, because a lot of them they just get co-opted. So you hear about money coming in, that's usually a red flag. Shit's about to change, and the money's not going to go to anything helpful. But Shama Sawant, she was working with DSA, uh, Democratic Socialists of America, and I was organizing with DSA at one point up until COVID. Because it was like this really dope community. We were having some dope ideas. We were talking about having like they had in Australia, having a dance party where we, like instead of just a traffic stop, we just have people just dance and get out their cars and have fun, like that kind of stuff. Like all these fun ideas. And then COVID hit, and all the stuff we were working on, it just got sidelined. You couldn't even show up to any of the events without like proof of vaccination. I'm like, this is the shit we should be protesting. So yeah, I was like, when I was done with DSA, I was like, they seemed like they figured out a way to just shut down the work that the good work that the DSA was actually doing. But yeah, found out, she ended up splitting ways with them. They had a litany of other stuff, but it really just comes down to funding and who is their god. Their god is the Epstein class. That is the money that they print. But yeah, so Shama, she started the worker strike back. So it's like, I had discussions with people, pamphleting for her and like letting people know what she's about. And the whole thing is one dude, he was like, that you ain't nothing doing nothing but vote for David Duke. That's the same thing. Because he just kept saying she a Democrat. Like, nah, she different. Her number one opponent when she was in office was the Democrats. She talks most shit about them. She was like, Trump's bad, yeah, but we the whole system is rigged. Everyone is corrupt. The Democrats, they play a major part of this shit. This shit too. It boggles my mind. This is why I hate when people say, "Yeah, Trump's bad." Fucking Republicans. Like that just tells me, every 2 to 4 years, you're just gonna be like fucking Republican, and it's just like you're gonna vote in someone who's doing the exact same shit. We wouldn't have had Trump if we didn't have Joe Biden. Trump wouldn't have been an option. Then we got another demented old man. And then like the October 7th happened, and the genocide unfolded, all facilitated by the pedophiles in our government, blackmail pedophiles who run everything. Um, yeah, and in that laid way to Trump. Trump was like, well, I didn't start any new wars. He was like, I would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He's bullshitting everything, but he's not really calling the shots as well. You're talking about GHB, how they get people compliant. They got a lot of different methods. Blackmail is one of them. Torture, threats of death. Then who's to say? I'm like really suspecting if any of those death attempts to assassinate were legitimate. Might be an ongoing narrative. Imagine Rakim rapping the State of the Union address. I would celebrate that day. Oh God. But then you said it, I was like, imagine if he did it to someone who was horrible. like what if Gavin Newsom got Rakim to rap at one of his inaugurations or some shit? That would be disgusting. I think that would ruin the song for me. But who knows? People get mad at certain celebrities for taking money from certain politicians. Snoop, he was famously against Trump and calling people working with him coons, and he joined in on the gravy train. But yeah. I don't. I guess certain people, if they are thinking of their economic interests, they can become aligned with certain politicians because if you're in a different tax bracket, you have different concerns. But personally, I believe if you are someone who was only made at that status because of your working class people, you didn't get appointed by hopping out of some rich dude's nutsack, right? You made it to the top based on ability and your ability to get through to people and connect with them in whatever way you can do that. I feel like you're kind of entitled to uh, not endorse, especially people who got way more money than they ever need, like getting the extra money to like kick it with Benjamin Netanyahu, and I mean, we're beyond a point where you could feign ignorance. It should have like been in our face for a minute. I mean, but then again, I would probably jump at the idea to be in the same room as Benjamin Netanyahu too. And maybe they saw his security and then they just, smiled and took a picture. I don't know. But one of the people I'm like keep waiting on. It's not like I keep tabs on Nicki Minaj or anything, but her coming out saying that we need to bomb Nigeria, I was like, that is crazy. And I'm still like, I mean, she got arrested. I think that she got coerced into doing some shit like that. I don't know, but I'm like, just beyond that, working beyond that point. Haven't heard any addresses. I'm saying if Rakim was the president, imagine him rapping that address. That would be dope. um, but we would have to work with Iran, and it should be like, I'm for just APAC, all these foreign lobbyists, all the lobbying in general should be illegal. We should be able to lobby our congressmen, our senators. We should be able to be like, look, motherfucker, our water's poisoned, food's poisoned. These corporations, they taking everything. Ban them. Stop giving subsidies to them. Give the subsidies to worker-owned businesses. Bring back the local businesses. I'm tired of McDonald's and Taco Bell everywhere. But yeah, that is the dream. That is Shama Sawant. Oh. But yeah, now the thing is who would be on the ticket, because so and who would perform for Rakim? Would he just do his own performance? But I feel like Eric, if you had like, I'd rather Rakim be the vice president. KRS-One, he could be in president, or KRS-One could be in charge of the education. Yeah, that works. And I mean, who would replace Kristi Noem? Well, I know she got fired. I think she already got replaced. But who would replace her replacement? Maybe get one of the folks from what was the crazy Cypress Hill. We get some one of the Cypress Hill members. They could be take Kristi Noem's position. I don't know. Rakim and KRS-One. That's a headlining tour. Those are people. I mean, I really want to see in concert. Nas. I was actually this close to be on the Nas Wu-Tang tour. I was like, yeah, those are some minds I'll probably love to pick. I got to meet what you call it, YDB. I mean, I did the Wu-Tang tour, and I was like, saw some of the bandmates, but YDB came up and he said I look like I was wearing my work gear, and he said that looked like some shit that Ghostface would wear. Talking about Ghostface Killer. Like I believe I had the little armbands and all that shit. They were, I had what you call it, one of the Maroon 5 cats. He was like, love your fucking fit on my work shit. Suge Knight for Homeland Security. Now he's he's already working for the FBI. Let him continue that job. Security. Samuel L. Jackson. That's it. He just the threat of him. Like, motherfucker. Like that's all we need. We ain't gonna be starting no new wars. So Samuel, he could just go in there. He can give like a speech, but we not killing nobody. Um, but yeah, Sam, that's my money. Or I mean, if we could get somebody like Ibrahim Traore, like man, fuck what they got going. They already taken care of. You already got solar cars out in Burkina Faso. They got they had their revolution less than 3 years ago, and they already started manufacturing solar powered cars in Burkina Faso. That's crazy. That's like that's gonna be my car though. But yeah, they like paved all these new roads. Like it looks immaculate. Like they really just it takes makes a lot of sense when you take the power away from the people who've been robbing you. Because people make it seem like France needed they needed France. These colonial states were paying in a currency that France stopped using. Um, and it was just like they were being robbed routine systematically. And then they assassinated people who stood up to it, like they did Sankara, Thomas Sankara. Um, but you know, um, if we can get Ibrahim Traore to leave Burkina Faso, maybe like a collaborative effort. We can meet at the barbecue in Iran, and we could discuss how like we can get the solar powered cars out here because it makes a lot more sense. Right now, we can't get Chinese technology. We can't get a lot of stuff. It's the most incompetent, corrupt people, all Epstein files aficionados. They're preventing us from getting better cars. Like they're holding this market hostage. Um, but yeah, that'll be one of the take homes next time I go to Burkina. But it does feel good seeing so many people standing up. Like Israel just getting reckless and wild, doing all this crazy shit. It caused a lot of turmoil in the world. But I see it's just like it caused the uproar, intifadas. People want to shake off a lot of this oppression. People seeing what they got going on in other countries, and they want to follow examples. And yeah, the all of America's government's enemies are not my enemy. And yeah, well, if y'all come in here and y'all planning on attacking some infrastructure, don't do it before talking to me. I'll show you where the real hotspots. I don't want you to hit an impoverished person. No, no, those don't make them your target. Like there was leaks talking about Iran is targeting Palantir, Amazon, all of these tech companies that are robbing us blind. They're going to start bombing their facilities because their technology is being used to target Iranians indiscriminately for the most part. But yeah, they're going to start targeting those companies, and then they got their hackers in trying to hack everyone's credit, hack experience, so they could give us 1,000 point credit scores. But yeah, if y'all need some inside work, when I join the military, I'll get some of the helpful tips and tricks, and then I'll bring it with the coleslaw at the barbecue. But yes, it is getting quite late, and just wanted to tap in and just let all of America's enemies know, like I'm working against my government too. We got an inside outside game. So continue fighting. Find your position if you haven't already. If you have, post up and be good to each other. Peace.